together. You get these singular beings that come together. Now, you've already mentioned that there is a harmony that occurs when people get together.
Yeah.
And that's actually been measured.
And when they worship God.
So there is a benefit that can occur.
Yeah, I
when
think it
people
protects
get
them
together.
during the week, too, because if you tithe and try and do your best you can, because sometimes I don't do the best I can, but I try to, but sometimes I have failures and people remind me of that, and they remind me of more of that when I go to church and I do more what's right, so that keeps me from doing evil. Maybe I know some people that don't go to church and they seem to have a good life, but for me, I'm just grateful to God for things that happen, and I want to thank God for things by giving to church and attending church, but I think God protects me because I have so much trouble sometimes with people, and I don't want to have trouble with people, and the church protects me from that. And
you know, it occurs to me, we were talking about which comes first, the individual or the group, and we observed that individuals cannot even occur without a group, without a coming together.
Yeah.
And given the nurturance and support
where
that
the
has
group
to
would
happen
have precedence over the individual
with a tender
in a way.
baby, and yet we develop
but we need both.
We go from the group to the individual and become more fully our own singular individual selves as a result of this experience with the group.
Yeah.
And
I found myself more of an individual, but
yet you cannot exist without the group.
No, I found when I come to Minnesota, I come from Michigan, I seem to do so much better over here.
Mm-hmm.
I could notice the difference in people just when I come here because I didn't have to read that this is the best state in the United States to live in. I could just see that when I come here. I just noticed that, and I've done so much better. I think God guided me. I went to the Quaker Church, and I think in Kalamazoo, Michigan, I think God guided me to come to Minnesota. And
so, Dale, what is it that accounts for all of the struggle and turmoil and conflict that occurs within and among individuals?
I think greed is one of them. I think the greed for money. That's why God means so much in my life, and I think God guides me. I read a lot of books. I got 35 suitcases of books. I haven't read all those books. I probably read about 3 or 4 suitcases of books, but I've got that many books, and I read. I do a lot of reading, too. I don't just sit there and write down things God guides me to say, but I think the inner light guides me to do my work, and I think...
I heard a guy say once that if you could subtract fear out of the world, everybody would, everything would be different and much better.
Yeah.
If people would stop being afraid of each other.
Yeah, that's what we need, one world government, and they say you can't trust government, but we can't trust these terrorists either. That's worse than...
Well, can we trust each other?
Yeah, it has to come from within a lot of times. That's the individual.
Well, I certainly hope that everyone enjoyed another episode of Cosmologic with Dale and our special guest Paul Lundheim. I think it's very good for us to keep in mind that outlets such as public access television are incredibly important for the dissemination of information that would normally not be able to be voiced over the airwaves. And I would like to thank the staff and the supporters of public access television in the city of Minneapolis. I think we have something here. I think we have something really special. Everyone has a voice. And even if the things that people say don't always seem to make sense, they have an effect on a greater population. The things that people say are sometimes, or the actual messages that people are trying to deliver are they're always subject to interpretation, where each individual, upon hearing the ideas, will formulate new ideas and thoughts based on those ideas, you know. a simple word can stimulate an entire series of thoughts that can lead the individual towards a new and undiscovered mental state. And this is really what we're looking to accomplish in understanding cosmology and cosmologic. So again, I am Aldo Moroni, and I thank you very much for watching. Have an excellent evening, and keep one eye on the guy next to you, and one eye up to the stars.
Last fall, and I'm working on, I was Paul Lundheim. This time I'm by myself, and it's in my apartment, and I want to tell about holism, the interconnectedness of everything, the theory of everything. My ideas connect not just with physics, because like Stephen Hawking and all these people are trying to get a theory of everything in physics and science, but my ideas relate to religion and art and philosophy too. It's a connection of everything. And I got this paper I'd like to read. I don't want to read a lot of stuff on television, but this is so important because it's so well organized. I think that the future will be the age of Aquarius, but I don't think it happens every 2,000 years. I think it can happen every 200 years, even 150 years or 100 years. Because we go through different periods of time, we go through different civilizations. My ideas are based on the fixed signs in astrology. And you take the sign Aquarius in consecutive order. You take the sign Aquarius, and that's the Greeks. And then the next sign follows the next fixed sign, and that in a consecutive order would be Taurus, and that would be the English.
Hold on a second. Now, you were saying that we're talking about the 12 symbols of the zodiac.
The fixed signs, though, the 4 different fixed signs.
Okay, and they correspond to countries.
Yeah.
But more than just the country, they correspond to
ways of thinking.
Ways of thinking.
Yeah. Should I say that?
Yeah, we just got it.
Oh. And yeah, should I carry on now? Oh, because you have the first civilization is Greece, and that's Aquarius, and then it goes on to England. Greece is 500 BC to the late Middle Ages, Aquarius 1. And then you go on to England, the late Middle Ages to 1750 approximately, and that's Taurus. The next fixed sign, the Earth sign. Then it goes on to France. The first 2 signs are the left brain, Greece and England, and then France and U.S. is Leo from 1750 to 1875. And then it goes to the USSR, the USA, from 1875 to 2000 approximately, and that's Scorpio. And then those 2 are the right brain. Then the final synthesis of all that is the Germanic people, including Swiss and Austrians, who I thought would be the main ones, but I think it's Germany is the main country, like France and England and the USSR and USA. USSR.
To go back, because I lost you on to go back to each individual sign. We started with. We need to go slower so we can understand as we begin in Aquarius.
Yeah.
Aquarius is the Greeks.
Yeah.
And then we move from the Greeks, from Aquarius, we move around the wheel of the zodiac to the next sign, which is
England,
which is Taurus.
Taurus.
So the Taurus, it's the vibrational or the attitudinal vibration.
Yeah, it's an earth sign because it relates to science and sensation and perception, the senses. And that's what science is, using the senses to perceive matter.
And then why is it, I always thought I had a theory, this is my theory. I was watching a video about Einstein, and I